guys. It's Sunday. We weren't here last Sunday, but we're here this Sunday. Well, kind of, sort of. So hopefully you guys are doing good. And we are going to take it from here and see how it goes. Some weeks are just crazier than others, so make sure this is going everywhere real quick. And let's see, you got to, if you're on Facebook and you want your name to show up, just go to Restream here. That will get you going on that. Hey, Charles, how are you, sir? I hope your day is good. Charles is here. And Charles, you got a lot. Pardon me. You ever have a day where your voice is just dry? that's been me today. So maybe the change of weather. But Charles, you have a lot of 6mm stuff, man, that I would like to go through with you one time, because I have a miniature amount of 6mm, but it's something I would like to do more of. Oh, hey, Mythos, how are you, my brother, sir? Mythos here, the expert painter. He's become very expert in what he does. Actually, Mythos, you should be getting yourself some commissions. You paint so damn good. Yeah, it's been a busy week for me, but I look forward to these Sunday shows. They're my little bit of a mental break from, well, I guess if I just had a mental break, I'd probably be okay, but from work and stuff. And unfortunately, the voices in my head won't let me take too much time off. They're just not. They're like task orientated. But other than that, yeah. So it's been fun so far. What did you say there, Mythos? Why is this thing in my way? There we go. Oh my God, man. So if you think you got food poisoning, Mythos, there is nothing you can do for that. I had it years ago, more than 20 years ago, but I will tell you, it got pretty bad for me. When I actually called the ER, and I was telling them what's going on, and the desk nurse, then maybe today they would do it, but she goes, "No, you got food poisoning. Your best bet is just to stay close to a toilet." So I did. I slept in the bathroom. It was terrible, terrible. So all I can say is stay close to a toilet and get rest, Mythos. I appreciate you listening, but man, that's not fun, dude. I've had that. Um, so Charles says April has been stressful. Um, yes, Charles. A lot of people all over are saying that it's become very stressful. So I don't think it's just in our gaming community. It just seems to be everywhere. Um, and I guess the upside is we woke up to be stressed about it, and that's a good thing. But yeah, I agree with you. It's been busy for me. I've gotten things done. You know how you get like on a roll? You guys are on a roll, you're on a roll, and then boom, you hit a wall and you can't get past the roll. And that's kind of what happened to me this week. Man, I was on a real good roll with my miniatures, and this last week it's just like one thing after another kind of a deal. So although it's short, it'll be a short-lived thing because my work does this. It's sometimes very, very busy. And Charles says to you, Mythos, to rest up. He said he couldn't even reach the phone when he had it. It does. It gets it gets really bad. And it's not. We all joke about, I got food poisoning or something, but it's not a joke. Like it'll knock you out for a day or so. It's not fun. It's not fun. But anywho, all you can do is rest on that, Mythos, and I hope that you get to feeling better, sir. For me, um, Sundays are always the day before work. Monday mornings, at my work are like they're always swamp busy. And so you're like, I don't want to go into work Monday morning because there's just too much crap to deal with. And yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Mythos. I mean, everybody loves you, man. You got to get some rest. So, and remember, you know, that you got to take care of yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. Well, hello. It says Facebook user in the chat. Hola. Hello. How are you? I wish Facebook would let these software integrate with them more. So I'm not sure who you are that said hello, but hello back. And Charles, you said 10-day period to get your car sold. Yeah, isn't it funny how they make a lot of the stuff the same as getting rabies shots? Yeah, the DOT, DMV, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's always interesting to have to deal with them. But yeah, there's a lot we could talk about in a separate show just on all that stuff, Charles. Trust me. But then we would deviate way off of gaming because agencies get frustrating to work with, you know. So, but yeah, I see that. At least it's a 10-day period and not in some places a 20 or 30-day period for stuff. I'm testing out over here an Amazon bargain bin find. I know it's pink. Coffee warmer Keegan bought me. Now, it's pretty pink, but he goes, oh. I said, all right, I don't care about the color, man. I'm testing it this time now with my coffee, and it's keeping it hot. Because I'm kind of weird. I either like my coffee hot or I like it iced, but I don't kind of like it in between. Oh, failing the smog thing, Charles. Yeah. That's I lived in California before I moved, and it's terrible out there about that stuff. And a lot of it's just a crock, anyways. Look at all the stuff they don't take care of. You know what I mean? That pollutes the crap out of things. But your car, they're gonna hammer you. Yes, the coffee warmer. I think. Well, in our area, there's an Amazon bin store down the street, so I can hold this up. Maybe it's pretty nice. Coffee warmer. I mean, like I said, it's pink. I think he paid $5 for it, so I'm testing it this show. It's a test. It's only a test, and should it become a coffee emergency, I will send instructions on where to gather with the donuts. Okay, and we'll be good. So right now, we're testing the coffee warmer. You can check Walmart. Yeah. I mean, you sure could. They might have it. You know, but it helps. Because sometimes, not sometimes, all the time at the show, I get to talking. So then my coffee would be cool. But you can find some good stuff at the Amazon bin stores if you have them in your area. And it makes you wonder why you'd be paying $25 or $20 for something that they have on $5 days, $1 days. It's like a madhouse. I went there with Keegan twice now. And there are people just going through all these bins and stuff's flying. And yeah, it gets a little crazy. They do have some gaming stuff occasionally. And, like sometimes I've had gaming chairs, like $300 chairs are like $40 in a box. And you'll see they have some interesting stuff. So it's a good deal if you have one close enough to get to. It's not something I would drive an hour or something for because it's not, it's oddball stuff, but interesting nonetheless. Okay, so my Facebook user says I got you some diamond armor. No, you're right. I know who it is. Hey, Brittany. Brittany and her soon-to-be husband Matt and their friends. They game on Minecraft. And Brittany was kind enough to tell me, Mythos and Charles, that um, I could come play with them, which is cool. But she designed me a house because she said mine looks like a shack on the river, which I'll be honest, they do. When I do Minecraft, I just, you find an area and you make a basic like shelter. And then I start mining and I bring things that was kind of more like a storage area. So she said I was just kind of like living in a shack by the river. So she's built me this extravagant shed, so to speak, but way beyond what I would have done. So thank you, Brittany. Brittany has good design for Minecraft. And actually, Brittany, there are quite a few people in the group that we don't just do miniatures, they'll play Minecraft. And Mythos is his brother is named Freak, which is an interesting, good name too. And he plays lots of video games also. He's got his own YouTube channel. You can check that out. Although it tends to be the scary stuff. I noticed he likes the horror kind of genre, or just something to scare you out of your seat. And and Charles, you said miniature market has $5 sales. No, don't tell me that, sir. I have bills to pay. Because Miniature Market, I'm not endorsed by, I'm not affiliated with, blah, 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 the legal speech. But I like shopping there. They sometimes have good deals. And now that the new owners have it, I don't think I've ordered anything from them. So I'll have to go check and see how it is. But yeah, so far, coffee warmer is working good. Oh yeah, he's still working on your skeletons there, Charles. Um, you have some interesting game stuff. I'm just trying to finish up. Like I've been telling you guys, my biggest thing I want to get to are my Rebels fighters, so I can paint them up for Star Wars Legion. So, um, but the Russians are pretty much done for Team Yankee, and just a matter of a little bit more to go on these guys. I guess I don't have to, like I said, but you know how it goes. You start painting them, you want to get detailed on them. You don't want to leave all these little things off. So, yeah, but Charles, I did get the two little Russian T-64s done that are 6mm. Yeah. Hey, Brittany, here'll give you an idea of the scale on these. And these are babies. Yeah. Not going to hold up so well in the light. Huh. Let's see something. I'll try it over here. Let's see if this other camera is going to work. I think there's too much light. Here, we're going to try this one for a second. See? They're little babies. They're babies. That's what happens when you leave tanks alone together too long. I'm telling you, you've got to keep your eye on them. You really do. Otherwise, you end up with a whole bunch of little baby tanks, and you think about giving them away, but then you get attached, and you start naming them, and before you know it, you're trying to hide them from your landlord that you've got all these little baby tanks running around, and you just don't want to say anything because they're just so dang cute that you got to do something with them. They are, Brittany. They are babies. They're babies. They're just little babies. I was thinking of, but don't tell anybody, maybe like crocheting little tiny tank blankets. So when we do snow operations, they stay warm. Although I wonder if it'll asphyxiate the crew, but I don't know. Well, there's always something to work around, right? Right, Mythos. We always got to figure out our gaming stuff. So, yeah, I'll figure it out one day. Who knows? That's a task I can issue to the voices and see what they come up with. Because sometimes they're quiet; they just sit there. I think they're listening, but I'm not. Some days I'm not sure. I know one of them likes crowns. It's always coloring, but I can't blame them. So with that said, we should talk some more though, Charles, because you've got lots of that. What I do want to do is find a little like World War II town setup. Um, just something to have like a little battle round, a skirmish, and see how that goes. Oh, by the way, Brittany, if you're there, then I'm gonna show you. So I know it's there's the coffee warmer. Look at that. There's the monitor. There's the old brick Xbox. There's the monitor. There's the Xbox. I know I got all this other stuff in the way there, but you know, now I have a place to game. I can sit at the chair, look up, and I can't drop my Xbox because it's hiding over there. But there you go. So now you know it's set up. This, sorry, move it around. There you go. Oh, hey, it's Mini Warmut. Oh, finally. Finally, he's got my name right. It's Mr. Dork. I don't know yet, Brittany, if I got the Realm invite because, in all honesty, I have not turned on the Xbox today. And that's a shame, but that's just kind of the day. So I haven't turned it on yet, but I will check it later before I go to bed and see. Because this show that I do every Sunday, I try to stick with this and make sure I get at least this done in a week because some weeks are going different directions. Charles says one of your issues is trying to do too many things at the same time. Yes, that gets to be a bit much. And just for reference, Brittany, you can see the tables that I have. There's those miniatures on there, so it's not that I don't want to play video games. It's just like sometimes I'll come in the room and go, okay, I got 30 minutes to do something, but I'm not going to get on and try to start building for 30 minutes because that's not going to work for me. I would be frustrated because as soon as I turned it on and started, I'd have to stop kind of. And but I will look later for that. And Mini Warmite, you're driving home right now. All right, sir. Will you be careful driving and take it easy. Make sure you get home safe. And that's all you can do. I appreciate you listening while you're driving. That's cool. Just don't be staring at the video. One, I don't have the ugly filter on today, so we don't need you blinded and swerving in and out of traffic and stuff. And two, we don't want you swerving in and out of traffic. All right. Well, armor battles are kind of fun. And if you ran across, let's see, Charles, you said you had a platoon of Tigers defending a bridge with some 88 and 3 Soviet platoons of T-34s. Oh, well, I mean, you must have had a pretty good fight. The thing is, the Tigers are really tough. They were the toughest things out there on the battlefield at the time. The Shermans were just bullet magnets and death traps. And we just won, because we cut their supplies. It's the only reason we won that war. Or we wouldn't have won that war, I don't think. But that's what I want to do is get little towns and some little buildings. And I've seen some stuff I could get probably under $50. I could get a decent little setup going because the stuff is so small. I've got like a map I could use for it, and I've got all these tanks, and that, like I talk about it because it's what I want to do, and I just seem to every time I get a chance to head in that direction, um, then it's something else. So, but it's okay. Sometimes you got to do things like repair the car if it needs something repaired, so you don't have to walk everywhere. Um, so far, the coffee warmer is doing good. 24 minutes into it, it's still going good. Um, Trying to be realistic. Well, the Soviets did have more in numbers. Um, but so they would need to, because they would have to swarm the opponent. If that tiger sighted on one of them, then they were done. Just like the Shermans, it would it take on average 5 or 7 Shermans to try to take out a tiger. I think they actually came up with a game plan from what I was reading. They would run 5 at a time because they were faster. So they would try to circle it and shoot it from the back. Um, but that's because they were garbage. They put our guys in tanks that were literally just death traps. And then they would clean the tanks out and patch them. I watched a little documentary on how horrific that job would have been. You would have never got me into one of those. I would have just said, fine, throw me in jail. I'm not riding in that. Um, so you do need to have the numbers. That's kind of like with Team Yankee. You got the Soviets don't punch as much as the Americans or the West Germans because it's the same equipment, or the Brits. But they're tough, and you can field more of them. They're lower cost to field. So the Americans have the advantage of some firepower advantage because you can roll 2 dice, so you can get 2 hits. The Soviets can only roll 1, but you can have 10 of them, and you might only have 4 of the Americans for the same point cost. So if you get ganged up on, then the Soviets' morale was better, and it's better in the game too. They would hang in there and stay in the fight for much longer periods. Your morale's easier to get, or remounting a tank, or your courage. It's all tougher on the Soviet end. But if you're looking at just armor, like Keegan looks at it just as a brute force kind of a deal. And that's how some people play. They go on and they try to swing that bat, and sometimes it works, because it's overwhelming. But that's only if you don't have the ability to get on it first. So it's an interesting thing. But yeah, you best have enough Soviets to counteract it. At least 2 or 3 for every tiger. Oh, so Charles put a video on YouTube with some buildings and trees. There you go, Brittany. See, we build things too. We just do it in the physical world, in this realm. So that's why Minecraft is called a realm. Because it's its own realm. This realm that I live in, with the physical stuff, you can build things too. So I'll have to go check and see if you have that there, Charles. I try to watch your stuff as much as I can. But yeah, it's just a little different versions is all. And I guess that's my problem is, if I have the time, I tend to sit down and go, oh, what do I start with? I have so many projects. Like, where do I start? What one do I want to try to finish off, kind of a thing. And so that's my problem. I got to get that sorted out. Pardon me. It's just been a long day. So some days just tiring, and but I can most definitely check for you later on the realm invite. Hopefully, Mythos, you're going to be okay, man. If you get too sick, I don't know, seek some help and see if they can give you something for not for being uncomfortable. I just feel bad for you because, man, it's been a long time, and still I remember just how bad that is. But it's interesting what us gamers go through, right? We got a lot of things that get thrown at us, and just keep going forward because that's all you can do. Go forward and see how it ends up. I will tell you, I like this um, Vallejo, the bigger bottles. These things are 2-ounce bottles, and this is the Russian green surface primer, and it works fantastic. It also the opposite green for the American green. It's a great deal. These bottles, they're worth what you pay for it. Not only does it coat good, um, you're not really second coating stuff. At least I haven't had to. Now I do primer all my stuff with that primer I've told you guys about before in a spray can. I use the Rust-Oleum 2 times ultra coverage for plastics and resins, wood and metal, and it doesn't matter what your sprue is or what's on your sprue. This stuff coats really nice. And for me, the gray works because, like my Space Marines, they're blue, and the tanks they're green. So I didn't want a brighter primer under it. I didn't want to lighten up the top color, so I just wanted it to work out good. Well, hello there from Twitch. Good day to you too. We are just talking a little bit of miniatures. We do video gaming too, if you're not sure about us, but we do a lot of well, if you're still there. So kind of do our own thing with gaming. So build these things and fight, have some fights, and it's fun. No server lag either. Although if the dice roll bad, you're just kind of screwed. That's it. But thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. And anyways, yeah, I got to kind of get a few things done. Mini War might sidetrack me. I will lay a little blame on him with Zombicide. But now I've got all the Zombicide stuff, so we need to schedule another game. Because it's sitting in a box making noise and like, let me out of here. I'm like, okay, so we'll have to do some more zombies and whatnot. It's just, it's been fun, man, all the way around. Good journey in life. Sometimes things are not so fun that you got to deal with, but man, the miniature stuff's cool. So between that and the video gaming, I've got enough games to last me the rest of my life. I really don't know what else to do. I do, Charles, have to get to my Hex game, for God's sakes. I bought that thing after Jeff sent me the one, and I still wanted to do another scenario. But you can see over here, I'm going to move the camera again, my table. Oh, look at there. Those are Terminators that I'm working on. No, they're going to fall. So I got their little body pieces out. But see, there's my table there, Charles. And normally it's clear, but I've got some stuff on there I'm going through. And got to set out. But I'm working on get these. What the heck? Move them slow. So these are some resin printed 3D Terminators. Oops. So I'm getting them primered up. I got to do this power sword. I don't think I could do it as well as Mythos does, but, we shall see. I'll give it a shot, and hopefully Mythos doesn't fire me or something. But I'll try. I'm not a power sword expert. There we go. So there's why, Charles. I do have a few projects I'm working on too. But the table is basically set up so that I want to get a game back on there. Since we got back from Kansas City, it's been like struggling to, let me correct myself, Kansas City, Missouri, before someone corrects me. It's just been kind of a struggle to get the table cleared off again, because to the left you got all these things that are being built and worked on. So, pardon me, it's just been trying to go and get things done there. But yeah, that's my next deal will be some 6mm stuff if I'm going to do anything else. I've got enough Team Yankee for Russian forces and enough West German forces that I can do multiple scenarios. We still have the Flames of War stuff, Keegan, that all mine's painted up and ready to go. I'm kind of waiting on his. And Flames of War is just it's World War II version of what we're doing here. And of course we have the tanks so that we do this old school tanks, and we're gonna go back to our roots and Keegan. So we're gonna dig out all the old school buildings that the kids and Ashley had made, the cardboard buildings, and we're going to dig out the rivers, and all this was handmade stuff, and then we're going to do it and see how that goes, because it was just something that we always put out and did. That was fun. Oh, hey, D is working. Oh, thanks for stopping in and saying hi. Sorry I couldn't make it to the coffee shop today. I was way too tired, you guys, to make it to the coffee shop. So Keegan and Clinton D, I think, went, at least last I knew. And I don't know if they, what happened as far as the game went. I was up till after 5 a.m. this morning. So I crashed during the day. I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't go on 3 hours sleep or 4. I'm not going to do that. So, So I don't know, D, they'll have to fill me in. I haven't heard from Clint. I know Keegan's at a birthday party. But I haven't heard from Clint or you as to what happened. So I don't know. I don't know if what you guys played, or if you played, or who won, or it was supposed to be me and Clint against D and Keegan, because we have a lot of the Soviet stuff, and was going to go against the French and the American. And that's how that was supposed to go today. But I don't know. Like you said, Charles, April's just been one of those days, one of those months. Oh, you guys played Red Dragon Inn. Oh, hell, that's 1,000 degrees different than what you were going to play. That's cool. Red Dragon Inn's pretty fun. Card-based game, so played it before. It was pretty fun. That's good. Did you guys get some pictures? Or I haven't checked anything. I haven't checked any of this stuff online, man. I went back to bed and I've just been resting up today. I've got so much stuff done that I think it's just once in a while you just got to rest a little. So that's cool, though. At least you guys got to game and get that going. But yep, such is the life of a gamer. One day you got a bunch of time, the next day you're scrambling. I will tell you what I did do though. Is I took my favorite miniature down to the local Tyson's down here, and she's 1 year old now, 1 month, and she's walking now. So I took her over to see the baby chickens. Right? I know this doesn't have much to do with the game, but she loved the baby chickens. And she got to look at them through the cage there and all that. So, I guess yesterday I could have done more, but I went and did that with her. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you do have a video too to check out. Let's see, Charles, 1/100th scale. Okay. Oh, all right. D says it was live streamed to the Gamers the Coffee page then. Nice. So that's what I mean. I told you I went back to bed. I slept a good chunk of the day. And then okay, so we're gonna do it next week then, D says, like we were supposed to do today. Okay, that's cool. That'll work. And what'd you say there, Charles? The video is a tiger playing with the Shermans. Oh, is the tiger being good? Is he being nice? You don't want to scare the Shermans too much. Yeah, yeah. Playing with them is a nice way of stating that, because those tank commanders, they were our guys just didn't have the equipment, and they did not have that kind of training, and we just threw people at them with numbers, So um, a lot of our tanks were just chewed up, and these tank commanders we had, they never lived long enough to gain any experience. Really, only a couple of them did. The majority of them were just wiped out. And that was a big problem too back then. I think, Charles, is they didn't have, none of them lived long enough to get the experience that the guys on the German side did. Those guys became experts, And when you're an expert with the most powerful equipment on the field, you're going to do some damage. So I don't know. But hindsight's 2020. They can always look back and go, they know where they messed up. But if we're going to go ahead and do that next week, that'll work too then, D. So that'll be okay. Oh, heck yeah. One of these times, Charles, if you want, you can hop on too and show some of your stuff off. We should set something up if you want to. And then maybe you could help me on I know I asked you before and you told me, but I just want to find a good set of rules for 6mm that's easy. You had told me not too long ago. I can't remember. I wrote it down, and I don't know. I just don't know where it's at. So I'm going to have to pick your brain again for that, because a set of rules that's easy to play and easy to do is something that would be worthwhile to have, especially when you can put as much as you can out with the 6mm stuff, and it occupies almost nothing on the table. So it's pretty nice that way. But I just want to stick with armor. I don't think I want to try to get the little troops, because these 15mm troops are small enough. 6mm troops they're tiny. So I think I'll go ahead and stick with 15mm for deploying troops, because I can at least paint those. Speaking of which, I have enough troops now to deploy on the Russian side, and now I got some anti-air missile systems and a whole bunch of things just kind of here or there coming in. And even though Keegan has a resin printer, he's busy doing his own thing for now. So I'm just been ordering mine online, mainly because he's got lots and lots of projects. So I'm just not going to ask him to stop what he's doing. And I just get a couple of things at a time printed up that I need. But them resin printers make a hell of a difference. You can afford to do it. And I think these companies are going to have to figure out what to do, because it's quite obvious that a $45 box doesn't cost them $1. I mean, there's maybe $1 worth of plastic in it at best, and they're just not much. So it's a lot of price over it, and it's hard to do though, because these companies have to pay employees, and they have to pay lights and gas and insurance and rent on buildings and equipment and da da da. So it's going to cost to make it, but the resin tanks don't cost much, man. About $1 a piece, literally. People are selling them online for like $6 to $7 each, and I'm okay with that, because a few of them sell them with the shipping included, because you know what it costs to print these things. So people are selling them, say, for $7 plus $6 shipping. Well, I'm not going to pay $12 or $13 for the tank when I can go in the store and buy the official one on the sprue in a box for that. So I try to look for deals on that stuff. Charles says he didn't realize he had so many videos. Yeah, I think I put out like 300 something videos. You lose track after a while, and that's not even counting the videos I had before YouTube decided to go nuts a couple years ago with their we're gonna let everybody take FCC fines and that whole fiasco. So I think I had 80 something videos at the beginning there. And I just said, man, I pulled them all. I'm like, I'm not going to risk no stupid fine that they should pay that they're trying to pass on to everybody else. And so I pulled it all for months, and I just left no videos up just to wait for the thing to blow over. And then I just started from scratch. So yeah, you don't realize how many videos you do after a while. The only problem with YouTube is it's such a cluttered place. I literally do better on other platforms. Not only do I do better engagement wise, I do better with people asking questions or whatnot. It's just more. If I had half of that on YouTube, that'd be nice, because everybody wants to get to the 1,000 mark. You can do things like right now, I have to hit 500 members just to be able to do some posting things that everybody else will say, oh, great, go do this. But you're locked out till you hit 500 people to do some of that. And so I don't know why YouTube does that. I really don't know why they hinder their people. You'd think as a marketing, because all YouTube is an advertising platform. It's not a video platform. It's an advertising platform, and they let you put videos on it. So that point of view, they should let the creators who are making them money, they should give them these options instead of saying, well, you got to get X amount. I mean, how do you get X amount when you're starting off small and you can't get the tools that you need to get bigger? And some stuff's going to be by happenstance, just depends on what you're covering and where you're at. But this is a very, very, very crowded area. Gaming in general is probably the most saturated areas. And that's just it. Doesn't matter if it's video gaming or tabletop gaming. It's just saturated. Everybody's doing it. It's like printers. Everybody's getting a printer. Everybody's So it's now so common and so ordinary that it's hard. Just keep putting videos out, Charles. That's all you can do. The frustration. I'll tell you, my frustration with this week is I wanted to get more content out, and that was a frustration for me. So, that's sometimes what you want to do is get more content. But if nothing else, I think I miss the most is I enjoy this because I get to hang out with people, and sometimes you guys are able to get on and say hi. And I miss doing my podcast because I got a pretty decent following on the audio stuff. And I've just not been able to keep up with that. So if I had to go back and do everything all over again, I'd pick one platform and I'd just push that one platform. I wouldn't try to push all these things because it's too much to keep up with. And it's difficult to keep up with. It's like TikTok. I need to do more live streaming there. I actually should. I have, way more people there, like almost 3,000. And so I probably should do more live streaming there than I do here. But then again, I've been doing this all the time. And so this is what I'm going to stick with. But that's all I'm getting at, Charles, is don't get spread out too thin. It's too hard. And if you have a bunch of videos, you can always pull them and relist them too. That might help. Go through and just kind of tidy it up and then relist it. I don't know. I am not an expert. I just run a Sunday Gamers group therapy, and I'm unlicensed doing it. So don't take my advice. I'm not a professional, nor do I want to be. Well, I want to be a professional coffee drinker. That I could do. Well, the coffee cup warmer held up good. So there you go, Charles. Get one. That made it 48 minutes, and still the coffee was hot. So thank you, Keegan. That works. That'll work really well. So everybody, I hope you guys have a good weekend and get to do what you want to do. Sometimes, well, see, camping is coming up. Today it got cold, but it's that time of year where one day it's 80, the next day it's 40, and it's going to bounce around a bit. But with camping, I plan on getting out a couple times this year. I just really like going out. And it's fun to take these games on a tabletop and go out there and play too. Me and Clint have done that, and me and Keegan have done that, and especially camping. It, People will come by your campsite and they'll stop and look, and they're like, "What are those two adult guys doing with all these tanks out there?" They'll stop, and sometimes they'll ask you what you're doing. So it's kind of an interesting way because some of these people have been very, very interested in it. Didn't even know about it. They just didn't know the games were there. Um, and I think it would be. I think it's helpful for people. I'm sorry. What did you say there, Charles? Um, yeah, some you only had on your for laptop for Facebook. Yeah, I mean, you can on Facebook set it to delete or not keep the stuff there for so long. You don't have to. I do, but that's so I can go back and reference it. But YouTube, I already cleaned up once. So I'm not worried about if I clean it up again or not. What I want to do is recategorize some of the stuff and update a few things like, um, just for answering questions, such like the other camera that I use. Yeah, man, it's a Canon EOS M50. It's a fantastic camera, and it'll cost you a little bit of money, but it's way worth it. I've had it, for a couple years. It's fantastic, and I don't need to upgrade it. It doesn't need to be upgraded, and you can do a lot with it. So I got to go back and maybe redo some of the educational parts because I do have people ask me questions, and I'll answer them. But I noticed it's kind of here or there, so I probably should just put something together for that. Charles says he doesn't open Facebook on his phone. I do once in a while. I don't. As far as my regular Facebook page, I really doesn't matter to me. I have the Facebook group and the gamer page, and that's the ones I pay attention to. Um, and that's why I have it. If I didn't have the group, to be honest with you, and my Gamers of Coffee Facebook page, I just wouldn't have a Facebook account because I watched it go from one thing when it started all those years ago to what it is now. And I'll just leave it there. So I have it solely because of the gaming groups anymore. Otherwise, I really don't use my Facebook account. Like I did post something of Maya, my granddaughter, because we had fun with the chickens, and I'll do maybe something like that occasionally, but I don't really have a use for it. I'll answer other people's questions or if they tag me in something. But if you notice on myself, I'm just not too active on that. The group and the Facebook page. Yep, and YouTube on your phone is okay. I guess my problem with that is, Charles, is because I've got to the point where I do a lot of mobile live streaming. My next step is going to my phone provider and just getting a separate phone just for Gamers with Coffee. And there's not going to be any calling on it. I'm not going to give the number out to people. It's going to be for going around and live streaming. So I want to use the phone's live streaming capabilities to do things like live stream to YouTube, live stream to TikTok. Because if you're live streaming, inevitably somebody calls or you start getting messages. And even if you turn the notifications off, it still interrupts the feed sometimes. So, but that, and my phone is, even though it's a newer phone, it's just, I don't know. The new phones are slower. I don't understand why they're slower. They got more garbage in them, more apps, and more things to do probably. But they're also got better processors and everything else, so they shouldn't be too terribly bad. So yeah, you do whatever works for you, Charles. I mean, that's all. I look at it as I'd be happier if people were buying coffee cups and getting the word out that way than maybe any other way. But see, like that's why up here on the top of the screen, you'll see that. So people can take a picture of that with their phone, the barcode, and it goes right to, you know, the Gamers of Coffee merchandise. So if someone wants to, they can. I guess I should start mentioning it more, but I just put it up there the last couple times because it's an option to do with the software that I got. I could do. There's another option I'll show you, but it's more or less like it's bigger. Like watch, I could put this up. Uh, Let me see if it'll do it. There we go. There you go. So the problem with that is, see how it kind of blocks my face out. Not that you guys want to see my face, but there are options to do like this. But I can't really move it around. So I left the other one up here. So if you want a coffee cup or a t-shirt or something and you want to support the show that way, I'd rather have people holding up coffee cups because it's kind of word of mouth advertising that way. Like I said, you don't get rich selling coffee cups. If you have 100,000 subscribers and 20,000 of them bought a mug, it might make a difference. But in the beginning, I think just the word of mouth stuff is a good deal, and it helps that way. You know what I mean? And plus, it just makes you feel good if somebody picks something up. That they like your show or whatever. It's kind of cool, but I'm not a salesperson, so I don't sit there and try to pitch it. But everybody tells me I should do that. I don't know. I'm bad about it. I should probably do more with it. But like I said, so when I put that other one up, see what it does? It takes up that space on the screen. So I guess it'd be different if I had it laid out differently. But I like the way I got it laid out. Oh wow, okay. So it puts it in the chat too. Charles says 112 subscribers. I think I had more. No biggie. Your video's not poor, Charles. We like them. I know you've gotten more subscribers because I'll tell you right now, when I subscribed to you, you had 70 something, and I know you've grown. Well, you've grown at least 40 plus subscribers since then. So that's pretty good growth over the last couple of months, Charles. I mean, really, because overnight stuff, the slow, steady growth on anything. It's just like I mean, take it like this. If you're teaching somebody something and they steadily learn, it tends to stick and they stay. If it's an overnight change or somebody, it's not going to work. Because it's just not feasible for it to. But so no, that's cool. Your stream has grown, Charles. You've grown since I've been following you. I know it because, like I said, I know you were in the 70s when I subscribed, and I do try to watch your videos, just like many Wormuts and Mythos. If I can't catch Mythos' show on Fridays, then I always try to rewatch it. What the heck is that? That's ice. Well, I'll be darned. I'm trying to listen to this stuff against the window, and it's ice blowing. Huh. Nice. All righty. That's why you need coffee. Got to stay warm. No, it was all ice. Oh, okay. So you thought it was 131. That's the number of the Tiger tank the Brits captured in the desert. Okay. Yeah, as I say, your channel's doing good, Charles. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's just steadily growing, and that's cool. Like, I don't complain about mine. It's just slowly, steadily growing, and I like that. It's kind of nice that you'll see the number climb here or there, 1, 2, sometimes 3, 1, 2. And a few of the ones that have fallen off, I noticed I did some checking, and it just looked like they were bots. So you're going to get some bot subscriptions too, and then you don't want those to stay around anyway. So you kind of I watched it kind of go up, dip off, go up, dip off, but it's just steadily climbing. I had no subscribers, so don't worry about it too much. It just kind of happens, and I think your videos are interesting too. You've got just different interesting things you do, so that's cool. Oh wow, it's really increasing out there. Nasty. Oh well, what can I say? It was 80 degrees yesterday, and today it's supposed to be rain or snow up to 3 inches, and 37 degrees when it was 80 something yesterday. So now it's just ice blowing against the window, and you can hear it ting, 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 ting. So that's okay. Us gamers are prepared for the end of the world stuff. We already know we'll be okay. By the way, Charles, that's a lot of Tiger tanks for the Brits to have captured. That's an impressive amount. Well, change your room up however you want to, Charles. Like I said before, this room was the kids' room. The kids have moved out for the most part, so it's why not be the game room? I simply happen to have the room, and uh, like we said before, and you see my 4 foot by 4 foot table has room, and I have room to walk around it, and I have a work desk. Now I can game too on the Xbox on it with the way the desk is set up, but I can also paint my miniatures and stuff there. And then I have this desk in the corner for broadcasting and finished painting, and I got some shelves. So the shelves help a lot. Without that, it makes it hard to do. Like this filing cabinet you guys see behind me, right? That's full of gaming stuff. It's full of gaming stuff. That's a white Russian hat up there, by the way, but it's full of gaming stuff. So get a filing cabinet if you can. I paid $20 for that. Some business was closing down. This was about, I think, I want to say about 4 years ago. And these things run like $100 something, and they were just, it was $20. You had to go to the business and haul it out. And we did. And it's in perfect shape. And I store the crap out of it. It's got all sorts of things to do with this gaming. And so behind a fake brick wall, I'm structuring stuff in there. I put shelves up, and I'm trying to make this is where all the gaming stuff is. Now, my table, yep, it's got some things on it because I'm going through it and organizing a few things I want to sell and a few things I want to get out there, that I'm not going to use. And some things, actually, there's a pile there, too, of what we're going to give away. There's a rule book that Taylor gave me, the Pulp Alley rules. So I'll probably do a giveaway on that because Taylor, he's a good guy, and he sent that to me a year ago, more than a year ago, and I haven't had a chance to really go through the rules. So he said I could also give it away. So I think and I'll do it like as a, from his channel, a giveaway thing. So he gets credit for it, and then I'll just pay the postage and ship it to somebody. And we got a Stargrave book that's brand new. And I got to ask Clint, there's a War Machine book, but we don't do War Machine. So a lot of this stuff, I think we could just give away to people who are going to use it. And it might cost postage to do that. Oh, it will. But if it's going to be used, then that's a good thing too. And other things, I've just, I don't know, like under that, there's my tray here of all my kill team stuff that I put and magnetized. See all the guys in there? They're all painted and magnetized and stuck on here. So with that said, I might take them, and we don't do a lot of kill team, and it's Kill Team Morok. I paid $200 for that. Then I bought the case, and then I put the guys in the magnet strips and the magnets. So, and I painted them all. So what I was thinking is that because we don't play this one a lot, maybe I might sell this, take whatever I get for it and put it back into 10th edition as it comes out. And just things like that. So the table has helped a lot, Charles. I mean, I got that. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot table, and it has been an immense help. It's got, right now I can do broadcasting from it. So I'll just show you since people are probably wondering, I guess. So see that there? So I got my laptop, my mouse, my other camera, and I can do broadcasts from there or videos. There's our maps in the corner there, our game boards, more maps. Just a lot to try to, get through. But this table, you can see there's plenty of room around it. I know you can see stuff in my closet. Sorry, I'm going through the boxes on the floor. But to the side, I got all this room here. There's plenty of room to walk around. Chair will go underneath, and then I can work on this. Like I said, there's a lot of our terrain we gotta get back to using. A bridge that I bought a while back that I really think is pretty badass bridge. You know, this kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of going through it. So it might look disorganized, but I'm actually rearranging stuff and putting it away where I know everything's at. And that's my only advice I can give you, man, is you know, just do what you can with the room that you got and take it from there, because hell, not all of us can afford to like have somebody come out and remodel a place. So I feel pretty good that way. Got my handy dandy mic up above my monitor here that's in front of me, and I've had that mic for years. Best investment I ever bought was that boom mic. It works amazingly well, and I did a little video on that too, I think, at one point. So I've had people ask me off to the side here or there, and I do a lot of talking in when we go out and about, because people, like, I'm wearing my Gamers with Coffee shirt, so they'll be like, "What's Gamers with Coffee?" And then I'll just start talking to them and let them know what's what. So you can do things like that too, Charles. But we have a local game company I got to go down. I want to talk to. I got some cards I want to take in there anyways and have them look at the cards and evaluate them, see what current prices are on some of these old cards. And we might be doing an opening for the game store and do a live broadcast. I think that's going to be fun. They were talking to us about that. And so I just want to, before I say too much more, get some more permission from the game store owner, because they're expanding. They have 2-3 stores in the local mall area, and then they're getting another one not too far from where I live. So that's going to be kind of cool. That's going to be fun. And then I'm sure they'll have storage ideas I could pass along. But do what you can do in your room there, Charles. If you got limited space and the table's too big, what do you normally game? If you normally do your hex and counter games, some of those maps are huge, but I noticed that a good majority of them are kind of like a oddball shaped, and you don't have to have that big a table. On the other hand, for me, the majority of what we do is going to be on 3x3 maps. So because they're 3x3 for the overall majority, then the 4x4 table, it gives room around the map for us to place our cards. For instance, you can do Team Yankee on a lot of World War II gaming maps, but Star Wars, okay? Perfect example, X-Wing. The X-Wing maps are the same. They're very nice maps. But you have room to place your ships and cards around the outside of the map. So it's not, your pieces are on the map and you're not clustered all up. So kind of do something that's going to work for you for overall. For me, it's just been more or less rearranging, condensing, and some things I'm sorting out to do giveaways on. So we're going to start going back to doing that. I don't know if I can send things to Canada. A couple times it's done that. Like, it cost me an exorbitant amount of money to send my friend David at Axanix Gaming just a helicopter, and then I think it was Taylor. I sent him something like $50 to ship it. Just, I can drive there in the same day to Canada from where I'm at. So the cost-wise, I think it's best to do just, in the state shipping, give some of the stuff away, because I'd rather give it away to someone that can use it and have an interest in it. You know what I mean? Because not everything is about making a dollar. It's about making contacts and having fun. And so that's what that stack is over there, is getting to be giveaway stuff and condensing it, because in the end I want to be able to do shows off that table, which I have off and on. My lighting, something like that, Charles, I got to get rid of that light and get one of those strip LED ones, because it's better light. Like, and that makes a big difference when you're trying to photograph stuff, So, I don't know. I got a little ideas I'm doing, and I've been progressing through that sheet of stuff I have to do and knocking it off. So, um, would you say there, Charles? You're gonna try and get turn 3 of the African campaign done? Oh yeah, putting on a World War II desert movie on for motivation. Hey, I understand that. Look, motivation is key. I was gonna play Red Dawn. Yeah, see that? Two of them there. So, and I got these at that big box store, the blue one that everyone hates. It was $5 for both Red Dawn movies. So, with Red Dawn, I mean, I like the original one. The secondary one was okay, but it was kind of nice to just sit here and I played it while I was painting miniatures. It was just kind of fun. Oh, hey, Tim, how are you, sir? He says he's just been in the background. Well, that's okay. You can be in the background. Poor Mythos is in the background, not feeling so good, so we're hoping he gets to feeling better soon. And if it's food poisoning, I would say I would have to talk with Freak and make sure that everything was, that Freak wasn't like trying to buy some expired things. Yeah, I was kind of wondering there, Tim, because that's why I said it sounded like if you captured 131 Tiger tanks, well, hell, more power to you. Because with the Brits, they should have been just shredded. But that's a lot. I would be terrified personally to run across a group of 100 Tiger tanks with whatever. Oh yeah, they got a tiger in a museum there. Um, that's cool. That's cool. There are some pretty powerful tanks. There is the tank museum that I are on their mailing list, but it's overseas somewhere, and they have a big museum of stuff. It's kind of cool though. I mean, to look at what they had and what they had to work with, and they've completely redone these things and got them up and running, and it's interesting. But yeah, thanks for clearing that up, though, Tim. I was kind of wondering. That's just a lot of tigers to have in one spot, much less capture. Yeah, and but there you go. If you've been listening in the background, we've kind of probably been a little bit around. Oh, the tank number 131 is still operational. I would say probably the way those things were built. I mean, if you maintained it, I don't see why it wouldn't be operational 200 years from now. You just have to maintain those. There's a tank museum, like I said, I'd like to go and see it. That's pretty cool um, to have history like that set aside. Move 10 feet, break down. Move 10 feet, break down. Um, yeah, I don't think the Tigers broke down so much during the war, did they? I don't recall reading that. I guess maybe they did, but man, they would just tear up whatever they come across, and I don't know. You know, I would have not wanted to be in a tank in that war. I'd have just as soon been on the ground on my own 2 feet and not in a tank on either side because they were just big targets. And today I wouldn't be in a tank at all because shoulder fired equipment literally makes it all just you know useless. So it doesn't matter what the armor is they have now. It's just if you get hit, you're all dead. The crew's dead. Yeah, yeah, they would set tanks in one spot and fire. Yep, yep. They made some good use of them. They had some really good equipment. Dee says she enjoyed Patton's Museum when she went to Kentucky. Yeah, um, I have not been to that museum there. They moved most of the tanks elsewhere, she said. It seems like we're all interested in the history, and those that write history and run the show, they just go forward. They don't care. They're done. to them, it's like, yeah, I don't know why anybody's fascinated. They just move on. But World War II, there's a lot of fascination with it. World War One was terrible too, with all the mustard gas, the trench fighting, and just I'll tell you this: looking back on some of these things, like uh, back in the older wars, where they marched one line and they marched right into the other guy's firing. I mean, some of these tactics were just the elites that run the war. They should have been out there on that front line and getting shot. Then they wouldn't have, they ran these armies like they were personal toy soldiers, and led a lot of people to death. So I don't know. Some of those tactics were terrible. I'd rather be on my feet so I can make my own decision um, as to where I'm going, what I'm doing. So I don't know. Different times. Now today, I think all their equipment is too much, so technologically advanced that if technology fails, then it's no good. Did you see there, Tim and Charles, where? Well, this is a while back, so you probably know, but so the helmets that the Israelis have for their tanks, once the driver puts it on or the gunner, so when they look, it's the cameras outside of the tank, of course, but it's like they can look in all directions while they're in the tank, which before they never could do. You were in the tank, you seen what you seen out through the windows. You didn't have a 360-degree field that you could you know zoom in on. So it's like a virtual reality kind of helmet, but still you're in that tank, and when the tank gets hit, that's it. It's done. You're just not going to survive it. Yeah, there's just it's kind of that's I think why that war is so big, because even in the video gaming world, if you look at this Call of Duty, well, I know why we all keep buying Call of Duties, because it used to be good in the beginning. We always hope that the next one's going to be better, and they just string us out with the same old garbage on it, and they don't really fix anything, but they sell you the hope, and so you buy it. So the last one I didn't buy. The last two actually I didn't buy. It's like, okay, enough's enough. Done the Call of Duty thing for 100 years, and it's not really that good. Now I like the Battlefield games, Battlefield One, I think five, the World War II stuff, the World War One stuff. They're really detailed on their stuff, and the games were playable and enjoyable. Um, I'll tell you what, Tim. I don't think being a tanker or anything, and I don't think there's much future in it now. There would be, maybe depending on where you were deployed in the world, to where what the conflicts were, but technology is just at the point where I simply wouldn't be in it. You get, as it is now, they got drones, and they have just drone strike stuff. You can hit things with missiles 200 or 300 miles away. I mean, they don't. The tank, I think about, it was about done with somebody. Where did I read it? So give me a second. With the advent of, it's a tank round. Anyways, back in the 70s, from then on, the guy was saying, and it's my fault, I don't remember the whole thing. I was watching, he goes, they showed you the gun, and he goes, from this point on, being in a tank, you were dead. There was no saving the tank, and the tank didn't. So you didn't have the advantage in a tank. Matter of fact, you don't have the advantage of a slower, bigger target moving. If you drop 12 guys on the ground and they all go in 12 different directions, boy, it's going to be hard to get them. If you got one tank carrying a crew and it's just ambling down, you're going to get it, and you're going to get the crew. So, wouldn't want to be a tanker. I wouldn't take that for an MOS. I'd be like, nope, stay out of it. Uh, you know, not a good thing. And I think tanks are pretty much what. Well, look at what they're doing now. So if you've watched and paid any attention to like what DARPA brags about, DARPA really brags about their stuff. And look at New York; they had their little press conference here just not too long in there. They are deployed the robotic dogs that we've all seen, and so it's part of their police force. So you're looking at more and more like mech type war. They've already hinted at that, so I don't. I think tanks are. I think tanks are overall on they're they're not going to be as useful. They haven't been as useful since the 70s, but even more so now. And I don't know. So that's why you have tank museums, right, D? Because I think, yeah, land battleships, yeah, more or less. A lot of mechanized warfare. You're no matter what the technology is, you're still going to have boots on the ground to control a spot. You're not going to control nothing if you don't own that land and you don't have people on it. So it doesn't matter. You can do all your drone strikes, but now look at the portable EMPs. So all this talk about drones, and they've already got technology to just down them. So technology is canceling itself out all the time. So I don't. The more high tech it gets, the harder you're going to be able to survive it. You're better off old school fighting it. At least you have a chance. But that's just my opinion. Watching the world is the way it goes. Yep. I think again that's the fascination with World War II. It was more you had some technology, but these are people out there fighting for what they believed on both sides, and they were going toe to toe. They were not, you know, doing it like this. Now you can kill people sitting in a room like you're playing a game at the other end of the globe, type of thing, or the other end of the world. And so, yeah, warfare is not what it was. Fort Benning has a nice tank museum. I don't know, but they might. It would be cool to go see some of this stuff though, and check it out. I think absolutely. But there's my little fascination thing there, Tim. I like tanks. I like the armor battles. It just really got me back into miniature gaming was the tank stuff and um, the naval stuff too. Once I gave that a shot, I realized, hey, the naval stuff's not. You'd think it was boring and stuff, but it's not. Oak and Iron's a fun game. I push that because it's a fun game. It's easy and it's fun. You got pirates, and it's the 1700s, and you got to sail those ships. And that was again back without the technology, and it was a fight. You were going to win on skill, and there was something to it. But anyways, that's the rantings of a guy that talks to squirrels and drinks a lot of coffee. So who knows? All I know is it's always the same types of games I like to play for the most part. Um, I will agree with you. Here, I'm going to put Tim's comment up here. So going toe to toe with a shield and a sword would be physically exhausting. And to be cut open with a sword and have your insides falling out while you're trying to fight and bleeding to death would be a horrific way to die. Being shot, that's pretty damn quick. Being cut open or stabbed repeatedly and stabbed in the back and you're laying on the ground bleeding out, you're going to die. That would be a terrible, terrible death. And these guys, imagine holding a shield and a sword as heavy as they are and fighting for hours, man. How exhausting is it? People used to be in way, way better shape. Uh, there's none of us that could do that today. I mean, yeah, I don't think our military could sit there and march with swords and shields like the Romans did all day long with that kind of weight. And these guys, they were impressive. So yeah. Tim, you drink coffee and you feed the squirrels. My kind of person, Tim. So do I. I feed the squirrels. You got to feed the squirrels. They'll come up and they'll say hi. And occasionally, Tim, the squirrels have rewarded me. One Sunday, it was cold, couldn't get out. I just had some coffee. And here this little guy comes up and he's all, and he gives me a donut. And then it dawned on me, he went through the neighbor's window and got it. And I was like, right on. He wanted to make sure I had that donut with my coffee. So he's a good boy, you know. And then there is, you're at Arby's, Mini Warmut. Mini Warmut's our food guru. Well, you're at Arby's. Could you get me a double roast beef, man? Tell them to add some tomatoes. And I want some Arby's sauce. Please? That sounds pretty good. And then maybe grab me an iced coffee on the way back, too. You don't live that far away. They need beef and cheddar sandwiches. They have beef and cheddar sandwiches, sir. I mean, I know because I see the coupons that I get delivered every week, you know. Yep, and D says there's supposed to be a good one in Fort Summit, Virginia, and in Ohio. All right, D. Um, so that's what I'm saying. There's quite a few places around I'd like to get to check out the tanks and stuff. And Charles says, yeah, all that body armor, carrying all that additional. Yeah, I mean, imagine their chest plates. You got your leather straps, all this heavy armor, and you're carrying that heavy sword, and you're carrying that shield, and then you're carrying your provisions. These people were in massively good shape, and then they could march all day and then fight in through the night. They didn't have infrared and night vision and all this other crap. And it's just amazing the physical abilities that the people from the past had today. We are nowhere near that because everything is done for us. And that's the problem. We don't really do anything. Society, and I don't mean in a bad way, but we're on the scavenging end, right? We go to the store, somebody else pick the apples, pick the lettuce you're going to buy. Somebody else cut up the fruit that they put in a container for you. Somebody else killed the cow and made the hamburger for you. Somebody else killed the chicken. You know what I mean? So we're in a scavenging end of it. We don't go out and get any of our own stuff. We don't expend the energy doing it. So you don't. They were just in a way better position, I think. And so they could do these things. We could not. Here we are. Look, we're talking about going through a drive-through and ordering Arby's, right? I don't know, Charles. Are there any Arby's next to you? There's multiple ones. There's one down the street from me, not too far. So they're kind of scattered throughout our town here. I will tell you one thing about Arby's has some good lemonade. They just put out a blueberry lemonade mini warmut that I tried last week, and it's pretty good. So yeah, Tim, I don't know. The physicality of what they had to do is just pretty amazing, and society is just not up to that now. You know, could you imagine a bunch of people from then running forward, marching forward, and a bunch of people today given swords and shields? They're like, I don't know, they're offending me. They're going to run off, and where's their safe space? There is no safe space. You're on a battlefield. You're going to fight. You know what I mean? I mean, it's society. Society literally couldn't do that today. They would be trounced because those people they really were some tough people back then. What do you mean they've been closing them? Why are they closing Arby's? Arby's out here are busy, man. I mean, you're not. It doesn't matter. Every time you go by, there's something. Probably the busiest fast food place though out here is Chick-fil-A. Um, because they do have good food and they are pretty quick about it. That's the busiest one. But if Mini Warmut's in your area, he can track down food. He has skills that way. Not only will he find the deals online for your plastic addiction, he will also find you some grub in the local area, man. Even if you don't think it's there, he'll find it. He'll find it for you. But hopefully they don't close too many more there for you, Charles. A lot of places, though, you notice that are closing, and then all this stuff affects our hobby too, right? A lot of people are like, well, blah blah blah. I don't want to look at that. But if you don't look at that, it's affecting your hobby. A lot of these things. I mean, Look how expensive it is now just for shipping. Or look at how the price increases on things that, it used to be $2 for paint. Now it's $7. That makes a difference when you've got, I don't know, 100 paints sitting on your table, because none of us have just one or two. So all this stuff affects us. Yeah. We know you're driving, Mini Warmut. That's why we're chit-chatting, because we know you're driving, and just stay on the road this time, Mini Warmut. I don't want you getting in an accident and blaming me or something, because I don't get any. Well, wait, this is Sunday, so it's the end of my no blame week. I guess next week you can blame me for something. I'll start fresh Monday, Mini Warmut, and that's okay. But as long as it's the end of the week today, then I'm going to stick with the no blame Sunday for me for right now, because that's just the way it needs to go. Got to finish that up. So, I don't know, guys. I appreciate you guys every week showing up. I really do. Sometimes I have a lot to report. Sometimes I don't. This week, I don't. I don't have a ton of stuff that I was able to get done. But I do have on my personal Facebook page, if you want to look, a video of me taking my favorite miniature to see baby chickens. And so, yeah, I'm a pretty proud grandpa. So she's a pretty cool little girl. And we have fun. By the way, Mini Warmut, you'd be very impressed as I drive with her in my car seat. She knows food places, and I'll tell you, you'll be good. I'll get you French fries, and she'll be, but she'll make this face. And she knows when we pull into a drive-thru that food's coming out that magic window. Wow, that's a good deal there, Tim says. His son-in-law found a hobby shop about 10 minutes away back in November, and he asked the guy how long he'd been there. The guy said 6 years. He was stunned. Yeah, but you found, now you got something 10 minutes away. And isn't that amazing? That's, Tim, is we don't even know what's happening at the end of the block, much less the other end of the city we live in. We're just consumed. Yes, magic window. Now look at it from a 1-year-old's perspective, right? We're driving, we're getting a little fussy because we're sitting in the chair, and this grandpa guy that calls himself grandpa says, "Hold on, we're going to get you French fries." Now I know French fries are fried potatoes, so just sitting there waiting, and we pull up. And she knows when I order, she gets excited. She knows. So when we get up to the window, she's all. The other day, she was leaning in her car seat going, "Hi, hi," because that's her word. She knows. She's trying to say hi to the people giving her the food. And she knows what food is. So, yeah, that's funny. So to her, it is a magic window. It's a portal that brings her food, and she likes that. Yeah. Oh, and it's a fantastic store, Tim says. That's even better when you find a deal like that, and then you find out that it has a lot of stuff you can use, and it's just a couple minutes down the road. That's fantastic, man. It is. Oops, what did I click on? Oh, thanks, Tim. Yeah, she's cute. I know sometimes I'm going to talk about her. But, Tim, if I didn't tell you, and I've told Mini Warmut, she's a custom-made miniature. It took 9 months after the order was placed. And the only thing is it didn't come with any instructions, but fully assembled. So, just had to clothe it. And then I had to teach my son that when it says on the diapers there, when it says up to 10 pounds, that means it does not hold 10 pounds of waste. It's 10 pounds of baby. So, You're still like that, Mini Warmut? Yeah. They are magic windows, aren't they? You talk into this little box and you pull up and they hand you a drink. I get thrilled too. Trust me. Until the window doesn't want to roll down. Or you ever have your driver window go out where it either goes all the way down the door, or the switch, it doesn't work, and you're like, God darn it, you got to open the door when you go through the drive-through. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That makes it even more fun, though, man. I mean, then you realize it's worth it. Jeez, keep looking out the window because that's loud. Sounds like I live in Alaska. So. Oh, Lord. It is what it is. You got to enjoy some things in life. So see, um, oh, the diaper genie. Yep, it's kind of funny because uh, I was telling Charles earlier I don't really post to my personal Facebook page too much, but I did. I did post when I got my newest car seat because I found a deal at the big box store, and so people are like, "Oh, Greg, when's the last time you bought a car seat?" Well, yeah, like 20 years ago, you know, was the last time I bought a car seat. But now I got a brand new one, man, and they're kind of cool. They even got cup holders. Come on, so. Um, all right, Dee says she finished some more of her Amex 30s for her French team, Yankee. And you put them on the page. Okay, Dee, when I'm done with this, I'll get some dinner and then I gotta do some checking up because I'm behind for today. Like I didn't notice about the live stream, so we could look back on the Facebook page and see that. And if you put your tanks up there, cool. I'll be checking those out too because I don't know much about your French army, but your French army did good enough to beat Keegan. So what the heck? Many more. You you got mozzarella sticks and a fish sandwich. Well, uh, all right then. All right, all right. Yeah, and that sounds. They both said Mini Warma and Tim said cool D or nice D. So that's good. I mean, check it out on the page there and see what she put up. So that's good. So, but today it was just a fish and cheese baby. Well, it was kind of cheesy there, Mini Warm Up, but all right. I got you, man. You can't. Yep, that's a little bit of a twist on fish and chips for sure. I don't know, y'all have anything called a Long John Silver's out there because that's about the one place I'll eat fish from. Um, Warm up beat you to it. Oh yeah. Hey, as long as you got something for dinner there, me warm it. That's okay. Now, poor Mythos, if you're still listening, man, and Mythos is suffering from food poisoning. So we're talking about food. We don't mean to do that there, sir, but hopefully you get to feeling way better. Food poisoning, like I said earlier, is not fun, and it's not. People kind of laugh it off. I guess I had a severe case of it. It was pretty bad. So to me, it's just not a fun experience. It's not something that you want to have, but it is something that happens sometimes. Um, Charles, you said maybe a nap. You're going to get a nap. Too late for me to take a nap. I did sleep in this morning. I didn't go to bed until after 5 a.m. this morning. So, yeah, I slept today. I kind of bummed around today. So, oh. But I don't know, you guys. You can only take one day at a time. Try to find yourself a good place to eat because gamers got to have food too. And Tim, finding little gems like a hobby store that you didn't know was there. That's actually a very cool thing to do, man. That is a highlight in life. Um, we do have a couple that are within probably 10 to 15 minutes of us. They're not long drives. They're more or less at opposing ends of the town. I live here, and one is over here, one's over there, and so they're apart from each other. But if one doesn't have it, the other one probably will. It just depends on what you're getting into. Oh boy, Long John Silver's a half hour away. That's not bad. My mom really likes that. So when I go over and pick her up and do running around, she likes to stop by there. And we only have one in the town. And Charles says, I yawn, I nap, I eat, I sleep. Yeah, yeah, you're better off eating and then just crashing. Um, and that's okay too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do a lot of cooking at home too, quite a bit. But there are places I like. Well, I am very fortunate. We have a new Hispanic place that opened up literally 5 minutes from here. And even though I escaped the great state of California, and I think it's a pit, I wouldn't recommend anyone to move there. I will tell you this: if you want Hispanic food, you will get authentic Hispanic food, especially in Southern California where I live. Um, and so trying to find that out here has been really hard because it's the Americanized version and not so much authentic. But I found a couple places that are authentic, and this one had opened up. This is straight up like what I was used to getting before, and it's literally down the street. So um, that's been great for me. That's all I have to say. I can hit an iced coffee, swing over, and get a big carne asada steak burrito, and get back to work and still do that in about 20 minutes on my lunch break. So I can get my stuff all under the time frame it takes for me to get my lunch break. Of course, there is DoorDash, which I use here or there, but they don't necessarily have like some of this option stuff. Let's see what you posted there, D. It was D said it was her Milan unit, the mortars unit, and it was your infantry. And she says, forgive her for the lack of military experience. That's okay, D. I mean, with the models that you posted, that's fine. And infantry is good to have. Need to learn how to do it. I was talking to Keegan. We got to get more infantry involved in some of this stuff too. So Tim, you said you can't handle the real stuff. Too much Irish. Oh yeah, nice. Charles, now that's funny. Your daughter and the ex are making noise in the kitchen. There's a 50-50 chance I won't like what they're burning or cooking. Yeah, that's funny, man. Um, it is interesting. It's interesting that sometimes if people are not sure of how to cook or what they're doing, it's interesting things can happen. Um, for sure, for sure. But that's okay, Tim, if you can't handle the real stuff. See, that for me, when I grew up, we were in a straight up Hispanic neighborhood, and that was it. And so I ate a lot of home cooked stuff. Um, and sometimes I didn't know what I was eating because they didn't speak English. You know, they just hand you this hot plate of food and it smelled good, and so you'd try it. But yeah, it's never good to burn anything. So hopefully they don't burn your kitchen down, Charles, because then as long as the fire stops before it gets to your game room, then you're okay. But you don't want them to burn your kitchen down. And I don't have too much Irish in me, Tim, just a little. But I will tell you this, I like the Irish butter. I can get straight from Ireland here in Iowa. There's a shop that sells it. It's wrapped in like a gold color kind of foil. And the immediate difference between that and the crap they sell you in the store that they call butter is like night and day. Uh, the only thing is some some ability to try to make different kinds of foods is limited depending on what supplies and stuff around. Because I don't know about you guys, but unlike a lot of people, you go to the store, the shelves aren't stocked full all the time anymore. Some things are just ridiculously expensive now. Like that you used to be able to eat. You're like, yeah, I can't do that. And so it's kind of more like pick and choose what you can do. But on butter, kind of weird because I'd rather pay more for good butter. That crap spread I call it. in a tub all this vegetable oil. That's terrible for you to consume that kind of oil, and it's just colored. It's literally terrible for your body. And so if I'm going to eat butter, I'd rather have real butter. And the stuff from Ireland, it says it's from Ireland, and it's wrapped in that gold foil or that silver foil, the other company. And you can get them at a store here. It's more expensive, but it's way, way better. Way better butter. And butter is important, especially if you're a gamer, because let's face it, we like I said, we're gonna eat. And I used to be in a clan a long time ago on Xbox Live called LHR. They were around for quite some time, and yeah, about 13,000 members in the heyday. And I started a thread on their forums called Gamer Food, and we were all chit chat and just share it. Because you find out real quick, everybody likes to eat certain things when they're gaming. You know, some things you're not going to want to eat that's too hard to eat while you're gaming. But everybody would complain about the server lag and getting killed, or that they were hungry and they'd have to stop. So we chit chatted a lot about food, and that's it's quite interesting to see what all these things that people will come up with that maybe you didn't think about, or it was just an interesting thing. And fun times. Now I get on Xbox Live, and if you get in a lobby, people are on their cell phones. They're not talking. It used to be they'd smack talk and trash your mom and trash you, and I mean people will at least be there doing something. Now it's just silence. Oh, Dee says when she was fighting Keegan, that's what took Keegan out. That was the troops that took Keegan out. That's what you had left because he lost. He was a little bit like gruff. He's like, because when I left that game, I thought he was on such a roll. You know, I thought he was gonna win there. Tim says to get a personal assistant. A personal assistant? I don't make that kind of money, sir. I should though. I should try. I should be making that kind of money. I guess I could get a different job, but I'm kind of addicted to the pain and punishment this one dishes out. So um, I'll keep it for now. It's going to be more of a viable job, I think, than some of the others here in the short run. But personal assistant, yeah, that would be kind of nice. That's what I should do. Tim has asked me to warm up because I know he has one. I think he just keeps the person off camera, and I believe so. Like his gaming room is immaculate. It's not a catastrophe like mine, and food appears to him there, and so I don't think he's got a Stargate. So I'm betting he's got an assistant. He's just not going to tell us. That's all. All of a sudden, look, food shows up on his table, but you never hear anything. So it probably has an assistant on roller skates, so you can't hear him glide up and serve the food. That's what I'm thinking, Mini Warmut. That's what I'm thinking. Yep, Tim agrees with me. He thinks he has a personal assistant too. So yeah. Well, Tim, I'm glad that you found a store not too far from you, and that's a good deal. We try to shop local as much as we can, but I have like a difference of $10 roughly or five on some things. But if there's a $10 or $20 difference, and there is sometimes to get it online, I'm going to do that. If it's within $5, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just get it at the store. But if it's a significant difference, and sometimes it is, then yeah, most definitely I will do it the other way. But other than that's some good news. Thank you, Dee, for posting your stuff, and Charles, good luck with whatever they're burning out there for you. I hope it's edible at least. I mean, that's what Tabasco and stuff like that's for. Just season it up. If you can't taste it, then you can't taste it. That's what it's there for, is to override it. And Mythos, I hope that you are gonna feel better, sir. Brian, enjoy your food. But I'm going to have to get going, you guys. It's almost 6 o'clock my time here. I got to get the miniature in a little bit and uh, spend some time with her. I also got to get my dinner going. So I will catch up with all you guys next week. If you want to come by, I appreciate it. It's always nice to have you guys. I thank you for that. If you have some suggestions or something, then let me know. If you want to get on and chit chat, let me know. It's a free service for you guys. It won't cost you nothing to hop on and say hi if you want. So do that if you'd like. Thank you for posting those pictures, D. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to let you go so I can get some things done for the evening. But thank you very much for stopping by, you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. Try to enjoy the week. That's all we can do. Try to enjoy the week, you guys.